Hey everybody, winter has hit, and it is almost the end of June in the real world. You know what that means. We gotta do a world tour. We have a fair bit to go through, I think, but of course we will, as always, start at the beginning. I spawned in right over that hill. I need to make some kind of marker as to where the actual spawn point is, but we'll deal with that at some other stage. I settled over here. Anybody who watches the series has seen this a billion times. This is my little shithole shack, where I am currently living for the moment. I've got my bare necessities. Got all steel tools except the sword. I went with diamond for that. It does a little bit more damage, I believe. And we've got our walkway. This is kind of the centerpiece of the world right now, actually. This little walkway area. It connects to our farms up here. Right outside our door, basically. We've got pumpkins, we've got wheat, we've got cocoa beans, cherry trees, and it also connects down into our mine, which we'll look at here in a few minutes. This upper boardwalk area is relatively unfinished still. This is going to connect into the upper part of this little town that I've started working on. The lower boardwalk is a bit more progressed. I'm not happy with this hill area here, but I don't know exactly what I want to do quite yet. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I think once I cut down the trees and do some landscaping, I'll figure that out. There's this neat little bridge here, which is nice. As winter falls, I think the water will freeze over into ice, by the way, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. We've got some temporary building stuff going on here, but we also have these little houses. Now, I wanted to build a very Minecrafty kind of village. I haven't worked on it a ton of late. I built these two houses, and then I took a pause. I have started another house recently, but we'll get to that in a moment. The houses are somewhat decorated on the inside, very basic stuff. We've got one of the Better Than Adventure paintings going on. We've got a little table, little plant, the roof. Slab roofs always have this kind of weird lighting to them, which I kind of like, honestly. I'm sure that is not a popular opinion, but what are you gonna do? Got a little garden area here. I'm probably going to spruce it up a bit, plant some other flowers and such. The grass just kind of grows on its own in this, so it's just sort of become overgrown in there over time. I don't hate it. I need to put a path back here as well, but that involves me terraforming this area, which I'll get to. Either way, we've got a nice little window box here and here, which are both very pretty. And we've got this, which is supposed to be kind of a support for the dirt on the wall, which I like actually quite a lot, even if it doesn't look super realistic. This house was an attempt to use sand and only a little bit of sandstone to build a house. I like how it turned out mostly. I think I could do more with texturing it. But I do like how this palm wood looks. Is it nighttime? Is night falling? Okay, perfect then. I like how the palm wood looks, and I also honestly do like how the spruce looks with it. It's very dark with the very light, and then the palm wood kind of blends the two together with the yellowish and the palish color into the dark. Now we sleep and awake. And it does have this little table, which is nice. Put a crafting table in here as well. Hello, pig. Excuse me. This door opens out pretty much directly onto the boardwalk, as does this one, but I still put a little pathway here. Looks nice. I like it. If we head up this way, we get to the experimental project. It's very unfinished, so I'm not going to show you much about it. But this is me building kind of a four-way... I think of this as kind of like an underground apartment system, where people climb down there, and then each of those doors will be a house. And it's just very efficient. Like, it's how to phrase this. It's logically consistent with the world of Minecraft, right? It makes sense that in a world like Minecraft, if you want cheap, affordable housing, you literally just build a hole in the ground. and then people go down and live down there. But this is like the low rent district almost. Now this whole area is going to be kind of the middle class, right? So these are like lower middle class. This is not the dirt poor people, but it's close, right? People who live down here, they might suffer some like social problems where people kind of look down on them, literally and figuratively. Kids who live in these sorts of apartments have to kind of explain it to kids who don't, right? And much like in real life, where the less rich people live is right next to where the slightly richer people live. Now, the most rich people will live over on that island when I get around to it, because I'm going to put the castle over on that side as well. So, I kind of want to have these different, like, stratums of society separated in ways where, like, yeah, these guys are kind of poor, but they're still a lot wealthier than where the poor people will live, which, photo mode. Gotta remember the controls for this game. This is going to be like the super low rent district, right? But there will be a couple of these holes scattered around in the middle area in the mid-rent district as well. Walking further over this way, which I've cleared of trees mostly, there's a couple stragglers here and there, but this area is all going to be village at some point. If we walk up here, then we get... I don't know if I'm going to put more houses up here, by the way. I haven't decided that yet. I've thought about it, but I have not decided. Once we get up here, we get to kind of a little militarized zone. This is a watchtower. You can see another watchtower way over there. These serve many purposes in my world. Mostly they serve as a way of giving me shelter if I'm out too late, as well as providing me a vantage point with which to look around. Often from high up areas. Sometimes from extremely high up areas, like this. I really like this one. I like both of them in different ways. The other one, it has an interesting shape. It's kind of aesthetically kind of cool looking, but this one is practical as fuck, because it is the highest point that isn't on one of these mountains. Watchtowers are also always in view of each other, or some other structure that I've built, which allows me not only to keep watch, you know, I don't know, if Herobrine shows up or some shit, but also it allows me to, you know, if I'm out exploring, and this happened once in a previous episode if you do watch the normal series, I was lost out in that zone. Not really lost, but I wasn't entirely sure where home was. I was relying on my compass to point me back towards spawn. And as I was coming around here, you know, I was kind of going like this way, following the water. I kind of wanted to head out that way. When I came around the bend, I could see this in the distance, and it helped guide me home, which was cool. But we're going to be putting a lot more of these down soon. Oh, I forgot about the pressure plate. For now, I only have 3, right? Or did I build a 4th one? No, there's only 3 so far, really. But let's head back down here. That ice over there is always there. That's from the biome that it's in. That's not winter ice. Honestly, so far, winter has seemed kind of mild this year. I feel like by now there's usually ice in the water. This path leads back over to the main zone. I don't want to say the main base, because it's not really where my base is going to be, but it is where it currently is. Leads behind all this through the forest. The forest is going to get cut down and replaced with farmland. This whole area will be. And I think that this is going to be where the very low rent district is. There'll be a lot of apartment style housing in these walls. But it will extend over into this area and across. Now, people who do watch the video, I have been working on something, and when we come around this corner here, you will see it. But first off, this dominates this immediate zone, right? I built it on this hill. It's the highest point that's like convenient in this area, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to turn around to show you guys the secret thing I've worked on. We're going to go up here first. But we've got another watchtower here. I like this very simple staircase. This reminds me of like, I don't know, like Incan style structures. You know, lots of staircases on the mountains, of course. Got a little fenced area here. leads in, much like with the other watchtower, which again, we can clearly see from where we're at. We have a good vantage point and a lot of verticality. This watches over the bay. Oopsies, what's that? A secret? Maybe. And if we go up, 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 we get a nice vantage point of basically everywhere. Now, of course, there's a lot of mountains, and this watchtower is lower than the other one, so we don't have as good of a vantage point. But up there, I'm going to put another watchtower. And in fact, you can sort of see something I've been working on in the distance over there as well, but we'll look at that later. It will be another zone that we can see from here. It's important to me that all of my builds in this world have interconnectivity, and a lot of that is about, where you can see them. I'm not necessarily all that good with sightlines yet. It's something that I want to work on as I mess around with the city. I heard a dude. But I do want to get better at that because I think it's really important to be able to see other bases from your base. So let's check out photo mode here because I think this area looks really cool at night. It's just so well lit. Once we get this area taken care of and there's more lights and stuff all over, this whole region is going to feel very alive, I think. You can, again, see the secret project right over there. We'll go look at that next, though. Don't worry. I've been doing a little bit of building off camera, not very much. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff in real life and difficulties and problems with the other channel and my editing software, and like the videos haven't been high enough quality and stuff. It's a whole thing, but we're not here to talk about that. This is a world tour video, not a Zach is sad for 30 minutes tour. Tune in next week for the next episode of that, though. So I've built this canal to connect the two bodies of water that I am currently inhabiting. If we look at photo mode here again, you can kind of see this whole area is, where this is all one big body of water, right? And it's all connected, and I can boat around. If we boat far enough this way, we get to another base elsewhere. But these two were not. And now, I love how the snow is localized to just me. Like it ends in a sphere around me. But now we can boat between these two. And you can see there's more builds over there, which is why we needed it in the first place. The dirt is temporary. I wanted to make a bridge, and I was kind of eyeballing like how big I wanted it and where I wanted it. I haven't decided what it's going to look like. But this is going to be an extension of the low rent district. This is maybe like the slightly higher class poors who live in the side of this mountain. And they do actually have access to glowstone, which is something I'm going to be building with a lot more now that I can access the nether. Which, was that last episode? I think that was last episode. We'll go through the canal. I'll go get a boat real quick here, and we'll actually boat through it, because I think that will be fun. And that will lead us over to the other area, where we are currently working on basically an animal zone. There's not a whole lot of reason to keep animals in this version of Minecraft, even though it's, heavily modded. But beta animals despawn. Unless you give them a name tag, which is not really worth it for most animals, except maybe chickens, because you can't breed animals, so keeping pigs doesn't matter because their only purpose is to make food. But chickens and sheep, it is kind of worthwhile to have them, like have a breeding population of them. Sorry, chicken, but you were in the way. So that is the canal. I did a little bit of texturing with sand and sandstone. I did more with the cobblestone, like putting it up into the wall a bit, but it just didn't look quite right. I'm not quite good at the texturing stuff yet. I want to go through with some other, maybe like, honestly, even palm logs, or not logs, but planks, I'm not sure yet, and incorporate some of them. But I like how clean it looks anyway, with just like the coloration, the pale kind of yellowy white color, and not having a ton of texture, it does make it look very clean. But as we come out here, we circle through this little bay area. Not sure what I'm going to do. I need to make another canal over there, but I'm not sure what else I'm going to build in that region. And then we've got this. Another little dock here. This is, of course, in the same style as the boardwalk region of our main base. With this little unfinished, because I do want it to have a bit of a mine of its own, but this little unfinished outpost here. There's no food or anything, so it's not a real outpost. But it does have a furnace and a crafting table. This is a halfway point at best. I don't even know if I'm going to put a bed in there or anything. I want to do more with this pathway. I don't really like it. I'm honestly thinking about putting a ladder in instead. I've got a little pile of rocks here. I was just experimenting. I thought it was a cool way to light things up. And I kind of like the idea of putting stuff like this around the world. Just little markers, kind of half ruined, that indicate that I was here. Now, as you can see, I've been very experimental with that. That tree is getting cut down, by the way, because I'm not happy with it, but I don't think I've shown this in a video yet. I've made the sheep fence, at least part of it. It is obviously not a real fence, but it is effective. They cannot jump over it, neither can I, and I think it looks kind of nice. It's also a little bit more defensive, which is cool in its own way. We've got this whole area flattened out. Don't worry about that. Yeah, we've got this whole area flattened out, and I've trimmed down the sides. I think everywhere, I might have missed a spot here or there, but I've trimmed the sides down so that it doesn't look too dramatic, but also I've cut all of the lower blocks out so that, again, you can't jump out and then escape up into the hills. Hello, chicken. This cave is still open. They can get out here. I kind of want to do something with this cave. I just haven't decided what yet, so... I did also work on this little water feature, which I think is very cute. Isn't that pretty? But, yeah. Bring back my hands here. Up there is a ruin. Just put my spawn point there. I don't know why, I just, you know, have a feeling. I don't have a good way of getting up here yet. Whew. Don't worry, we're almost there. There we go. Just in time for it to be about night. So this is supposed to be like a ruined watchtower. I want this world to have some age to it. I'm not super happy with it yet, though. I like the walls and stuff, and I like the overgrown foliage, but the tree is not good. I might just end up growing a tree. Maybe like growing a tree, like one tree on top of another or something. But you know what? Let's grab a screenshot of that just in case anyway. Maybe I use it as a thumbnail or something. Either way, this doesn't have any real practical purpose. It just looks neat. It just is cool. Not everything in the world needs to have a specific purpose or even be me necessarily practicing or honing a skill, right? Sometimes you just build stuff, and that's fun too. Honestly, the entire sheep zone here is kind of a testament to that. Oh god. That was an unfortunate ending for you, little chicken. Toss that in there. I haven't finished this side of the wall yet because I'm not 100% certain if I want to leave this area as like this super hilly, untamed zone, if I want to build something here, or maybe flatten this whole area out, right? Just seal it off and make this whole area sheep zone. We'll see. I have not decided. But that is it for this region. It was mostly a lot of, you know, cutting down dirt that would have let them escape and experimenting with this wall until I was happy with it. I like it quite a bit now, though. I think it's cool. It's like, it is a little bit ruined, but it's not so ruined that it's ineffective, you know? It has the feeling like people have just been repairing it for years. You can get in here. Technically, a sheep could do that, but the sheep can't get up here, so it's fine. But it has the feeling of like generations of shepherds have lived here, and they've taken this much older wall, which maybe was not even originally for sheep. They've just kept repairing it, which is the vibe I want to get with that ruin as well. I want this ruin to feel like it's a watchtower so old and ancient that it's been fixed, broken, fixed, broken, fixed, broken, and finally left basically to rot by the people who have lived in this region. I think the shepherd's house is probably going to be put in the base of the hill now, and will be in the style of my other builds. Like it will have that kind of vibe to it, with like the what are these, the slab roof and all that, pretty small, with like paintings and stuff, very cozy. And then up on top of the mountain will be a modern watchtower, right? To kind of have this blending of ancient ruins that have been repurposed, and then modern, both military and civilian structures. I don't know. I think it'll give a very lived-in vibe to this whole region, but I could be wrong. That is most of the new stuff for this world tour, I believe. God damn that pig. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. But we will go and look at the other base. Fuck you, asshole. We will go and look at the other base, which we can do from here now. We don't have to get out and jump up over... Oh, there's another boat there. I didn't even know that. It came in at the wrong angle. There we go. We no longer have to, like, jump over the hill and put our boat back in the water or anything. Just go straight there from here. So that semi-floating island is going to be a castle, by the way. I am going to convert it, basically the whole thing, into a structure. I'll probably start by hollowing it out. And now that we have these steel tools, I'm probably going to get started here pretty soon, honestly. It will be a long project. I am not planning on having it done for months, probably. Maybe even a year or more. But I would like to at least get it started. Maybe make an area for me to live in while I'm working on it that isn't a tiny little shithole base. In case you guys don't watch the main series, this is an amplified world. That's why everything is so dramatic looking, and I love it. It looks so awesome. So this is our second base, and currently it is our nether portal base, which I'm not very happy about, but it's just where we are for right now. Put this pork chop in here. This is an actually furnished base. It has sugarcane growing nearby, which I can harvest when I stop in, because sugarcane is cool, although I don't really need any more, so I'm going to put it in here, actually. It has a bed, it has a furnace, crafting table, it has a box of food. I do need to fill this back up, but cherries are not an awful food source, and it has emergency supplies. Again, I need to bring a better pickaxe here at some point. It's got some extra sticks. I don't know why they were separated like that. And of course some cherry saplings, because this is a seasonal forest, which means it's a cherry forest. You can see any of these leaves that look like this. These are cherry leaves. In spring they will be bright pink and very pretty. We're going to sleep again, and then we'll dip into the nether. I guess we could go into the nether now. It's not that big of a deal. I don't have any torches on me, otherwise I would torch this area up. I feel like I'm going to regret that. I'm going to sleep. I don't need to die anymore. It's like 4 seconds. It's fine. The nether portal is not going to be here forever, I don't think. Maybe I should put the nether portal at spawn, actually. That might be kind of cool. I put blocks in front of it in case stuff came through the portal. So far, they haven't. Alright. The nether is pretty dark. And it's infested with dickheads who can hit you from really far away. Oop, missed him. Ducking and weaving. So this is the Nether in my world. It's hell, literally, and figuratively. Sucks in here. It's very dark. Lots of fire. Actually, not very much fire, but a lot of lava. I just kind of thought about that. There's really not that much fire, is there? It's interesting. Either way, it's very worth it to come here. That coal right there is what lets us make these steel tools that I've got, which are better than iron. Kind of a side grade to diamond, but it's easier to get a lot of it. So, I haven't done anything in here yet except harvest some resources. I think there was some glowstone in this room at one point. And die. I definitely did die in here. That was a thing that happened as well. Might as well grab these. And then I came in here, and I collected a bunch of netherrack. So yeah, that's it. That's the nether. This is the only thing I've built here, is a cobblestone wall. Let's get out of here. This place sucks. I do want to build something in the nether. I do want to build something in the nether, but I need to decide where I want my nether portal to actually be in the overworld first. And I have not yet done that. So, we'll see. As for plans in this area, this is obviously not like an actual watchtower. The watchtower is probably going to go up there at some point. I don't know if I'm going to build it at the top of that mountain, or if I'm going to build it in the mountain, which might be kind of cool. And I might build a lighthouse on that little island there. As for this whole region, I might end up building another small village here, but it will be like houses like this. Extremely small, very basic kind of thing. If anything, I kind of want to make a logging camp in this area, because this is where I've come to chop down trees a lot, up until I started clearing out some of the area by my house. Just because I don't like chopping down trees too much in Minecraft. I like leaving forests alive where I can. But in this area, cut down a lot of trees. I don't use the pink wood for building necessarily. A little bit, but not a ton. Mostly what I use it for is making sticks, or workbenches, or boats, or anything that requires wood, but is agnostic as to what type of wood. That is what the cherry trees are good for. Well then, cherries are good eats. Kind of lost momentum there for a second. I don't know what happened. Go around these squid, and then we'll head back home, and that'll probably be about it for this episode. We'll take a look at the lighthouse as we get back. But this month, we did a decent amount of building.